So you have a child who goes 0 to 100 like that. Here's what I want you to remember about the brain. When your child is reactive, they're very likely operating from the amygdala, the part of the brain that's kind of like the seat of the emotions, constantly scanning the world, looking for cues, processing those cues based on memory and past experiences, and deciding in 200 milliseconds, less than a second, how to respond and whether it's a fight-flight moment. In order for your child to slow it down and make a better, more judicious choice or judgment, they need to be able to access the prefrontal cortex. And it takes 3 to 5 seconds for your child to make a more thoughtful decision from the prefrontal cortex when something has happened. And so if you have a child who's constantly going 0 to 100, hitting siblings, yelling, grabbing, all that kind of stuff, I want you to remember that in that moment, what you got to work towards is getting the prefrontal cortex back online. And that is not something you can do with words. It's not something you can do with consequences or threats or bribes. That is something you do with a body and relational intervention. Picking a small child up and hugging them, going outside for a walk, drinking a glass of cold water, squishies, right? A squishy something, heat, cold, rubbing your hands together, firm pressure for some kids. So you can't meet that with like, but he always does it and it's never better and it's so hard to deal with and none of my other kids do this, because your child is telling you that they are distressed. This is a stress thing, right? And they are unable to access the part of the brain that would enable them to be more thoughtful about whatever is going down. And so when I intervene, I need to intervene with the understanding that my child is experiencing stress. My child is distressed. And I have to bring a softness, a gentleness, a lightness, a curiosity to that, and I have to nurture the relationship. Now, in all of the other moments with this child who goes 0 to 100, whose stress receptors are picking up on threat and danger and responding like crazy, in the other moments, I need to build my relationship, and then I can start to map with that child the neural pathways so they can respond in a different way. But it does take time, and it takes relationship with mom, dad, or caregiver.